Yo, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's your boy Mike Nice Autumn. We are out here with the morning check-in. Checking in on you, check me. That's how we tap in, and that's how we going. Appreciate everybody who always taps in and always, checks in and say yo and all that stuff. Now, I really, really, really appreciate it. Platform is growing bit by bit, and we get into it. So make sure you share it, like it, leave a few stars. Tell everybody we in the morning checking and we get into it. I love it. Al, good morning. What's up? Yo, what's the word, brother? T, good morning. Somebody got swept. Somebody got swept. Had a hard time too, by the way. That was crazy. That was crazy. You get swept. I don't understand why it took so long though. That's my thing. Yo,
Yo, what up, bro?
what's good, man? Good morning.
Good morning.
What's the word? Yo, you at work or you off, man? What's going on?
No, I'm going to Chicago. Remember?
Oh, that's right. And yo, how I feel to be on the mission on your job, man.
Yeah, you're ready. Like, what you said?
So,
No, just tightening up before we rock on out. So you got your Knicks hat on?
yeah, I got a Nick shirt on too, bro. Repping hard. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it don't stop, man. It never stops.
Nothing stops but the season.
Yo, Bo, what's up? I'm out here, man. Ain't nothing stop but this season. Hell, I don't understand how Boston swept today, right? Yesterday, right? But why they have such a hard time? Ava, good morning. Vicky Ty, good morning. Glad you tapped in today. Yo, condolences go out to you and your family. I hope you're doing all right. Stay strong and tap in whenever you want to. You want to kick it or whatever, send me a DM, all that stuff. We right here for you, whatever you need. Because sometimes I know it's kind of hard sometimes, and you know, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but we sending condolences out to one of our freaky time, man. She lost her. I think she lost her dad. It was sad, Never like to see that. Never like to see that, but Southside Jamaica 134. Good morning.
Southside checking in.
Yeah, we out here, man. It's good, man. Yo, yeah, I'm chilling. I'm working. Summertime, school. The kids out of school. Trying to figure out my schedule, man. It's kind of crazy. But everything's good, man. I make my way back to New York. Bo, we be checking in every morning, man. Talking about some good stuff. Yesterday was what's your plan moving up? Moving on, like what you gonna be doing in the next few years? I ain't shade. What you gonna be doing in the next few years? That's the thing. That's and tomorrow's not promised. You don't know what's gonna happen, so you gotta figure it out. Dina, shout outs are in order.
Today is not promised.
Today is not promised. Today is not promised.
Went to sleep with plans for the day that didn't wake up.
Yeah. We gotta stay motivated. Just keep going. Man. Whatever dreams you got, you gotta get on it. Jay, good morning. What you got this morning? She was on the other. Oh, you wasn't on. We was on Friday. and we was talking about this is what we was talking about. I've been kind of, because everybody don't see it, And when we talking about the future and what you got going on, she was one of the ones that said she was a little. I'm gonna just say afraid. She didn't say the word afraid, but she's a little afraid of the pressure of success, and that she needs, um, it's just kind of tough dealing with that when you could do better. But remember a long time ago, I said some people get left behind. They just do. They not. You got people that you got obstacles in the way. You got not only the red tape that you have to go through, but you got to go through people that love you or so-called love you, and they get in the way too because they don't want to get left. They don't want you to leave them. Good morning from West Virginia. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Like you, I mean, come on, you got this position. You just came back. You just got back 2 years. Yo, how he get in a position already? And he's supervising somebody. How he get already?
I'm not supervising no more. Director.
See?
Director.
See?
You're right.
See? My fault.
I'm gonna tell you something. I think it's what's the word I'm looking for? Perception and the way you do stuff. Like you talked about obstacles. You look at something as an obstacle or as a stepping stone.
Right.
People that's around you, instead of looking at it like you leaving them, they can look at it like we support this person to get to where they're going, and then hopefully that in turn they can help me come up to in whatever it is that I want to do. It's all about perception. It's your outward vision, how you see things. You can look at the that old cliche, looking at the glass half full or half empty.
Yeah.
Right. It's all how you view it and how you digest stuff and deal with things. Mo Diddy, what up?
So how can we get our people to understand that? Because there's people that watch every day that are like that. They're like, yo, they feel envious when you getting stuff. How do you get them to think a different way? That's hard.
It's hard because that's internal. That's on the individual. That's not your or my responsibility to. You can only give a person what they want to receive, right? You can try to help a person all they want, but if a person doesn't want to be helped or it's not the time for them to make that transition mentally or emotionally, whatever, it's sometimes you need to. Sometimes the best remedy for that is distance.
Yep.
Right? Is distance. And I was crazy. I was just looking at a post from Ms. Bleak, and he was talking about how in the early part of their career, how Jay left him in the projects and was like, yo, look, I'm doing this right here. I think he went on tour. He missed, was it the Hard Knock Light tour? He missed like one of the first tours, and then Jay came back and was like, yo, this is what I'm doing. You had an opportunity to do it, but I'm not, it's your decision.
Right.
And I think we just need to speak to people's greatness, like, and how we speak to people can bring the best out of them if they in that space, if that's what they really want, if that's what they realize that they want. And then, sometimes there's like I said, maybe distance. Some people take longer to reach that point. Some people are just comfortable where they at. But man, at the end of the day, you're responsible for you. You're responsible for your family. You can't be responsible for everybody. The best thing you can do in situations like that is be the example.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Whatever it is that you want the next person to be is exemplified. Be that example.
But you are the example right? You're already the example because they see it. But then the jealousy kicks in, and then people say, "How you get that?" Or he shouldn't have that. He just came home. He shouldn't have that. All that. Why does he have all that? And you can't teach that. Mo just said that. You know what I'm saying? It should be motivational, but he learned that people don't believe in themselves. They just don't. You know. So how can we get people to believe in themselves? That's one thing. Forget the jealous part and stuff. You know, people are. You know, that's a normal way of thinking. I think it's hard not to be jealous of somebody when you don't have things. If you don't overcome that, you know, you got to be able to overcome that already. In my mind,
I think
I feel like
one
that.
of the most important lessons that anyone can learn is that you can't help everybody.
Can't.
You can't help everybody.
You can't.
And, you know, it's some people have a leader mentality. Some people have a followers mentality.
KD.
The leaders have to lead, and the lead and the followers have to begin to follow when they you know.
Enough said.
It's hard trying to help someone build self-esteem, right? It's hard trying to help someone to see their own self-worth, their own self-value.
Dude told me, man, you so confident, Mike. That's one thing I admire about you is your confidence. But I had to tell myself a long time ago, if you don't cheer for yourself, who's gonna cheer for you?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta do it. You gotta take care of yourself and cheer for yourself and keep it moving. It's the naysayers, it's the peanut gallery. You gotta watch out for them. You know what I'm saying? Put those blinders on and keep going because you can achieve everything you want. You can achieve everything you want. You just gotta keep pushing. And you know, it's just and I talked to Prince offline yesterday, and we were just talking about like distractions, right? And we talking about like guys get distracted with sex. They get distracted easy. You know, he's like, how do you know when it's coming? How do you know that it's a distraction? But it is. You know, sex is a distraction, and if you keep trying to be out there and be in the spots and getting it popping, it ain't gonna work for you, man. That's a big time distraction. You gotta keep it moving, man. Get yours when you can, but that can't be the focus, man. Can't be the focus. Look like a nice day. It looked like a nice day in New York. Huh?
That's about priorities, right? You gotta if people. Some people are just pleasure seekers. That's all they do.
Pleasure seekers. Yeah.
Pleasure seekers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're not thinking about the the repercussions of random sex.
Well, I mean,
a lot come with that.
It does, but even if it's not that, right? It's still distracted you from making progress in what you was looking for, and a lot of people get caught up in that. You can't do it. You ain't gonna make it. You're not gonna make it, man. So try to stay focused, man. Shout out to everybody on Twitch, TikTok, tapping in, man. Just passing through. Appreciate y'all. You know, we are on the Checkin every morning. Check L out. Got a good opinion, good strong opinion on him.
Congratulations, Paul. My man Paul got married.
Oh, word! Congratulations.
Post the pictures and all that, man.
Congratulations, brother.
Getting your grown man on. I saw y'all.
Yeah.
Proud of you, bro.
Hey, you know, Paul, also check in, man, because those days when it's hard, you need to speak to the brothers, 100%. You know, and I was talking to my boy about it yesterday. You got to keep going, and relationships you build, you got to build them. It's no microwave. Like, see, you people want the microwave relationships. They want everything that everything fast. It don't work like that. You got to build together. It's about building. Yo, Chris. You know, it's a lot of patience involved, a lot of selflessness. It's a lot of that.
Compromise.
Anyone moving, contact me. Guaranteed movers. All right. It's about selflessness.
My man Mo Diddy got a moving company.
Oh, nice.
Once your stuff move, when you get in, your stuff ain't all broken up and all that. Everything there, nothing missing. Hey, my man Mo Diddy.
Head down, working, delayed gratification versus indulgence, low-hanging fruit. Dive into that, Chris.
Let's go, Mr. Matt.
Yo, what's good?
Minister Matt, what's good?
Shut your ass up.
How's everything, man? How you feel?
Yeah. Oh, I gotta go to Albany today and tomorrow. Legislation stuff.
Oh, word.
So.
Yo. When you talk to L, you talk to him as you refer to him as a director. He's a director. He's not nobody's supervisor. So
yeah, we've been through that already.
Well, I didn't hear you say it when you got on. I didn't hear you say "What up, director."
Nobody says that. When you know the boss personally, you speak to him like this.
Man, show some love. Brief on grief. Where brief on grief been, man?
Top of the morning, love it.
Trench this, you know what I'm saying?
Hard hat agent. John Flowers. Yo, hey, there go that road. We already know. What's good? Hey, not that big size, got that sunny. Yeah. Good morning, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you smiling, man. It's good.
Prince is looking for a way to hate, but when I splashed the robe, I seen that smile, so I know he like it.
Yeah.
And next time you probably gonna see him with one too.
He need one.
You the reason why I did the Father's Day barbecue, the Father's Day post. I'm tired of those. I do not want no more robes, bro.
Listen, I got enough for all of you.
Mobile mind.
And all that. Yo, so you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Hey,
what's up?
You said something right that was very interesting, right? You was like, when you were saying it, I was shaking my head because I was like, yeah, he right. And when you said, yo, it's hard to try to give a person confidence, right? And I said that a while ago. I was like, one of the things that we need in our community that has been gone for a very long time, and I think that's the result of why we see some of the things that we see, is I think a lot of the hood is not inspired. They don't receive, I'm talking about in real time, every day, like, there's no inspiration at all. Like, I'm saying, like, right now, just think if you was 15, 16, if you was living in South Jamaica, Queens, I'm living in Brooklyn, where we drawing our inspiration from to aspire to be something else or something great? Where we getting that inspiration from?
Well, the last time I've been home, I could say nowhere. I can't say where. I know what it used to be. It used to be a lot. It used to be a lot of things to do to help you go, but it was never really. I don't know. Cool Clay might know. Like, what do we have to inspire us back in the days besides looking at the drug dealers? I really don't know. It's like Jay said, who's giving us the blueprint? Because she was talking about her success, being afraid to feel the pressures of success, especially when she's never seen anybody do it that she's around. That's why she said, who's giving us the blueprint? Who's giving it?
It's true. I think for me, not necessarily, because I think that matters too, to actually see it. But I think partly what's missing when I say, I think I had probably more people sit down and kind of like drop jewels on me as opposed to what these kids get today. Right? Like when I was like 15, right? There was a guy, I'll never forget his name. His name was Gregory Barnes. And I'm going to always be thankful. Yo, he told me something that I'll never forget. And I'm like 15, 16 years old. And he said, yo, listen, I done did every drug that's on this planet except shoot dope. He's telling me this. He said, except shoot dope. He said, I did everything. Now, at the time he's telling me this, he's not on anything. But he's telling me, he said, don't ever try any drugs because if you like it, you're going to be fucked up. Those was his words, quote unquote. I never forgot that. I never forgot that. I don't know why I didn't forget it because, it wasn't like I was really interested in drugs. And he wasn't telling me that because he seen me doing something. It was just a discussion and we were just talking about life.
Yeah.
He's a grown man. I'm 15, 16 years old. For him to be talking to me like that, we ain't talking about a rap video. He came down, he talked to me as an equal almost, like, yo, listen, but understanding that I'm young. I'm saying that to say I got a lot of those talks. Not as much as probably I should have, but I've got quite a few from different people. I don't know if these youngins today get that on a certain regular basis. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to say something that's probably not popular. I think that inspiration has lost its authenticity. And when I say that, just like you spoke about Gregory Barnes, I'm never going to forget his name. You know what I'm saying? And we spoke about certain individuals, like we had DJ Dog Time, who most dudes around on my block, they wanted to be a DJ because of Dog Time, because he had stuff. And you had dudes that might have wanted to be a barber because barbers had stuff. And then other few wanted to be a few athletes because athletes had stuff. And other people want to be drug dealers because drug dealers had stuff. But inspiration lost its authenticity. I see that because now we are paying people to inspire others now. All these organizations are being paid to inspire, and they don't come off as being authentic anymore. Because now the kid knows you're being paid to tell me shit I want to hear. And after 5 o'clock, you're not inspiring me anymore. From 9 to 5, you're giving me this inspiration that you're being paid to do. But then when I see you at night, you're in the club shooting a bomb top into somebody's eye. You know what I'm saying? So when I say that inspiration also authenticity, I think that there needs to be more people who is genuinely like us, doing what we do, than those being paid for, because those are being paid for seems to have a hidden agenda. And the agendas today in our communities are not well. You know what I'm saying? So when you got these, you got this myth, Sean. Good morning, Bree. Good morning, brother. You got this myth, Sean, that when dudes home from prison, they got the answers.
Right.
So these organizations hire the dude that just did 25 years and came home from prison and put them out in the community. And they don't even know they're not even putting the inspiration out there. They're putting the recruiter out there. They're putting people out there that's looking to have you emulate some of their behavior because they haven't worked on their traumas first. They haven't worked that took them to prison. They haven't worked on nothing. You don't get ASAP. You don't get the drug program until 6 months until you come home. So 24 and a half years of you being in prison, you was on drugs. 24 and a half years of 25-year bid, you were still using drugs, and you stopped using drugs 6 months before you come home, and you want to come home and inspire me? No, there needs to be some type of authenticity, some type of certification where we can make sure that the individuals, men and women that we put in the community to inspire, have the credentials and the capacity to inspire, and not because we're paying them. Yes, they should get paid, but they should get paid when they're qualified. Not get paid because they did time in prison or because they shot somebody. You don't have to shoot somebody to be relevant in the community.
So hold on, Prince. Hold on a second. You said when people come home from jail, people look at them like they have all the answers.
I said people come home from jail, there's organizations that will pick them up because they feel like they're authentic. They feel like there's somebody that they can put back in the community and give these great examples of what you shouldn't be doing when they're not ready, Mike.
Got you.
When they're not ready, I know for a fact because I was one of them that wasn't ready. I had to deal with my traumas. I had to deal with all the stuff because I definitely thought about being a drug dealer when I came home.
Word?
Definitely thought about it.
What?
You know why? Because I didn't have nothing. I was broke. You know what I'm saying? I was living in the basement. You know what I'm saying? But then it started to kick in. My education started to kick in. My thought process started to change. So I applied for a job. I got denied. I got on a bus with my Metro card. They was laughing at me because I didn't know how to use it. I went all the way out to Long Island. Got denied for another job. 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 I began to lose faith and hope. I began to feel hopeless.
So what inspired you?
My sister brought me out to Long Island to the house I bought now, that I live in now. She told me, if it's okay with your parole officer, you don't have to work. I got you until you get yourself together. She said, there's too much pressure on you right now to succeed. She said, I know you got a plan. Work on your plan. I'm going to support you. I'm going to buy you your clothes and everything you need until you get yourself together. Then you go out there and do what you got to do. And that's what I was able to do.
So that's like, so my man Chris is on Facebook, and Chris said, my family and my mom inspired me the most. My friends' dads and my older cousins always gave me a blueprint, right? So he's saying that your family pretty much, that's like you just said, you was just an example of just what he said, you know. But other than those people, what about the people that don't have good families, that don't have that strong structure, or they don't have what time you you don't have, that was my producer. So y'all go. Yo, that's my producer. Don't stop. Yo, what you doing? Don't do that. That's my producer. Yo, shut. Yo, why is he doing this? Why is he doing this?
We don't have a producer yet.
We do. Yes, we do. Nah, but I'm saying, who else do we go to, you know, for inspiration besides your family? Like, what if you don't have family? And when Sean first came on, that's the first thing I thought of was the people outside of my family. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people in your family, they're not like got these $250,000 a year jobs and stuff like that. You know, they've been in the struggle like we've been in the struggle. My father worked for New York City Housing Authority. You know what I'm saying? Great example of a dad, but he wasn't rich. You know, everybody wants this microwave stuff where they want it right now. They don't want to work for it. So who are the people? This is what I'm saying. Who are the people that's standing up against the drug dealers and you know, just the career criminals that's doing it? Who are the people to stand up to them and pull up with their nice cars and say, "Yo, no, you can do it this way"? Where are those people?
Well, I think. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You good?
I think the first thing was what you said kind of earlier to Al was number one, you got to lead by example. I think Prince was kind of saying that too, right? I think ultimately that was the message, saying like, yo, you got to be a certain person, or you got to be right? But I think it's speaking from a macro standpoint, right? I think it's changing the mindset, culture, trying to do that by, you got to remember, there's a reason why.
Hold on, y'all. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason why that phrase, knowledge yourself, it's the reason why that exists. And I think it's deeper than what a lot of people even realize themselves. The reason why that is very important is because everything else comes from that. The more you know yourself, the better you are in life, right? And I'll say this, and that's what I mean by changing the mind. Our definition of some of the things that allows us to do the things and believe in certain things, not have inspiration, not have ambition, is rooted in not knowing ourselves. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because most of us in the ghetto is putting value on things that shouldn't have as much value, right? We're dealing with a lack of love of self, right? So we don't value, and that kills ambition. That kills a lot of things, right? We are not valuing the things that mean the most to us. And let me bring that home. Have you ever seen an interview? This was very inspiring. You ever seen an interview with Bob Marley? And the guy famously asked Bob Marley, "Are you rich?" And Bob Marley replied, "What do you mean?" Now, Bob Marley wasn't stupid. He knew exactly what he meant when he asked him, "Are you rich?" What he was doing was he threw it back at him because he's making the guy think about what you asking him.
Right.
So he says, "What do you mean by rich?" So the guy, the interviewer says, "I mean, do you have a lot of material possessions?" So he said, "I'm not that kind of rich." He said, "My richness is life." But before he went there, he asked a very, very crucial question. He said, "Money make you rich?" That's a deep question. Does money make you rich? Right? Because you have to remember, the ultimate goal for everybody is not to be rich, it's to be happy. And they think they're going to reach happiness by way of having money.
Is that in the same pot as success? Does that go hand in hand?
Money?
Just what you saying, just being rich?
No, yes, because success is not success, at least to me, and in the English dictionary, doesn't necessarily equate to money.
Right.
Right?
Joe Harris. Shout out to everybody that's live to watch right now. Share it. Let people know. Join, tap in. How do you feel? You know what I'm saying? Grief on grief. What's going on, brother?
How you doing, gentlemen? First of all,
Sean, first of all, do you know the brother Sonny?
Yeah, I seen Brother Sean. I seen him on a few times.
Okay.
What I want to say is, first of all, I'm gonna say this from a perspective. I think you're correct, Prince, when you was talking about when people come home. Sometimes they're not being ready. I think it's twofold. I think first, a brother that's coming home is when we think of mentoring, a brother that's coming home, although he may not be ready to be an example of better decisions in his life, I think that he's effective, or she can be effective, because sometimes mentoring is displaying the consequences of bad decisions. And ultimately, what you want somebody to see is what can happen when you don't make the right decision. So even if that individual is not prepared to be better, or they still need some time to change, I think that they're effective because at least they come home and they give a blueprint of the consequences of a bad decision, whereas somebody else who has not had the consequences really are telling you what could happen, and somebody else is sharing with you what would happen. I would also say that one of the things I think I hear you saying when you talk about you and your family being supportive, and you're right, everybody doesn't have that. I think what most people don't have when they come home is nobody has patience with people. You come home, somebody has missed a considerable amount of time in their life. It takes time to put things together, and everybody is like, well, when are you going to get a job? When are you going to change this? When are you going to do that? And I think people don't have any sympathy or empathy for people to go, hey, be patient with the brother. You know, because I had a good friend of mine. He did about 12 years. He came home, and I seen people going, well, listen, get a job. And I seen the frustration where he had a job and they cut his hours to 10, 12 hours a week. For a grown man, 10 to 12 hours in a supermarket, you can't live off that. And everybody was like, well, you got to do something better. And here's my patience. I go, hey, listen, bro, I got you, man. I would give him money. Sometimes he didn't want to accept it. So I found ways of just like buying some food for him, just dropping it off. That was the patience that he needed because he already had the pressure of trying to do better. But getting to Brother Sean's point, as far as knowledge of self, from a biblical perspective, we know that that people perish for the lack of knowledge. And so what he's saying is so important because you can't change your life until you change your mind. And this is a really good show because when he was pointing out, well, what do we see in our community? Your thoughts are impacted by the level of information you're exposed to. So you're only impacted by what you see. And growing up, we didn't see blueprints of anything else than that. And what I would say, as far as knowledge of self, my brother Sean, which is deep from a biblical perspective as a pastor, is you can only rise to the level of your ignorance. And when people perish for the lack of knowledge, a lot of times I've seen that whatever area in your life you're ignorant in, you will suffer because ignorance is expensive. So you absolutely right when you say knowledge of self. And so I think that's a big thing. That, like you said, I think that this show and the examples that we give here is the inspiration for people.
I believe so
sometimes too. When you go there is no solution. I believe Brother Mike and Prince, Brother Sean, Brother L, you are the solution. And that's what we got to do a lot of times when people are able to critique and go, well, we don't have this, we don't have this. Well, I think each and every one of you in your lives are being the solution. So people pick up this show, they will be inspired because they don't have nobody. And today, Brother Sean's talking, Brother Prince is talking, Big Mike is talking. They're inspired today.
And if inspiration was the person, it will be you, brother. Inspire me every time you come.
So
can I say this real quick?
Yeah,
and I want y'all to speak to this. I have a good childhood friend of mine, right? And we have a difference of opinion. And it goes into what we attain. Now, people that know me know that I've been wrongfully convicted. 18 and a half years for a murder that I didn't commit. And so whenever issues of incarceration or wrongful convictions come up, I pay attention, right? So there's certain celebrities that also deals with prison reform, Meek Mills. Now, my childhood friend said, Meek Mills should shut up. He's a clown, and he shouldn't be speaking about those issues. Now, this is my childhood friend that supported me, came to see me in prison. So it's personal for him too, right? He feels, though, that the type of music that the reason why he feels like that, he feels Meek Mills is a contradiction, and he shouldn't be speaking on it, just to be clear. Now, this falls into our discussion, because we're talking about inspiration, so on and so forth. My take on, and what I was trying to explain to him was, I understand where he comes from. I do understand that some of the things that he say is a contradiction. I acknowledge that. But guess what? I also acknowledge the positive things that he said. Right? And then I went on to say, if we are waiting, and this goes back almost to your statement, Prince, if we are waiting for the perfect person to give us a message, we're going to be waiting for the rest of our life.
Yep.
So if you come, here's what I give credit to. The fact that you're saying it, the fact that you're doing, the fact that you're trying, because there are people out there that's not trying, that's not saying, that have a platform, and they're not going to say, yo, y'all kids need to do this, or y'all kids need to do that. Yes, I acknowledge the contradictive part, but what I'm about is uplifting and strengthening the positive part of anybody. I don't throw people away because they're not perfect. They don't fit into the perfect mold. So could we speak to that a little bit?
Yo, all right, hold on, Prince. Let me say one thing.
So much one night, and you woke up the next morning and say, "Yo, I ain't never drinking again."
Yeah.
It's almost the same thing with like the Meek Mill situation. When he was in a situation that was dire, when he was locked up by the judge, his advocacy and his level for advocacy was at a 10. He wanted to make sure that nobody went through what he went through, right?
Yo, Clay.
Because I speak to people that's friends with him that said the same thing. They don't call it a contradiction. They say it's hypocrisy. They say he's being a hypocrite now. Because
yo, Clay, you can tap in over here if you want.
Now, and
you can get in. I'll send you the link. Just let me know.
It's not in line with the message that he put out. But a lot of times, we need to remove the message from.
They only allow me 4 on Instagram,
That's
but
all I'm saying, right?
This one too here is we can get on Facebook if you want. I definitely want you to tap in though, 100%.
I'm not even listening to it, but then you might miss the message. Just when you mentioned something earlier, right? Because I think we all grew up in the same type of environment, like Albert Square Mall, South Street, Queens. Right. And knowledge yourself. The first thing you said when you got knowledge.
Send me your email address.
That means that somebody gave you.
Nobody's gonna see it.
That means someone gave you knowledge yourself. You didn't just knowledge yourself to start with things. It didn't just come from you.
Or your wait, I got your phone.
Unfortunately for a lot of us,
I think I got your phone. I want to send you the link.
In our community.
Well, this is the link anyway.
Some of the terrorists in South Jamaica, Queens, were guard bodies at knowledge yourself, and they was giving everybody else knowledge yourself. Good message. But then go and sell crack to the same person they gave knowledge yourself to their mother. You know what I'm saying? So there is a hypocrisy there, but that doesn't mean that the information that they was given wasn't truthful. Knowledge, in a short meaning, is accumulation of facts. And once you accumulate these facts, it's how you apply them to your everyday life, no matter where they come from.
Yeah. I agree with that, but I'm so on the outside looking in. If somebody's gonna tell me not to do something and then turn around and watch them do it, I might be on the side of I don't know. I mean, let me just go on my own and do my own thing and just shake the dice that way because this person is not leading me down the right way. But how you gonna tell me not to do something and you're doing it and I look up to you? So I understand what homeboy is saying, about Meek Mill. I do understand that, but it's confusing. It's a contradiction, especially to somebody that's 15, like you said. You're 15 years old. How can you do that? So that means, all right, so when I become of age, that means I can do what you can do then. I just do good for now, and then I can do later on. I'll be good because I'm in a good position then because I got money because I can go hustle. Like, I don't know what a 15-year-old would think.
I think.
Hold on, Sean. Don't laugh.
Go ahead.
See this thing around my arm? My pops used to do this, right? He used to call me. My name is Terrence. He used to call me and say, Terrence, come here. He said, you see this? He said, don't do this. Do not do this. I'm telling you right now. Just when he was tying that band around his arm, and he was about to shoot up. Right? Just because he's doing it and he's telling me not to do it, doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Like, I never shot dope before. I I watched my father kill himself. You know what I'm saying? So look what I learned from that, though.
Mm-hmm.
How many times has your pop told you not to curse and he went right upstairs and cursed?
Right.
You know, we just got to be able to filter out what's good for us and what we can accomplish from the things that we're learning, and the rest we got to discard it.
I think
now look, what he said, what Mike said, and what you said are both correct. But I think here's the thing. Mike pointed out something that's real. He said, "How am I supposed to?" I'm confused at 15. But I'm having this discussion with him with Meek Mills. I'm not talking to a 15-year-old. I'm talking to an adult. Right? So the thing is, it's that value system. Yeah, a young kid is not gonna know, but this is how you teach them. This is how you teach them. Wasn't that same example inside the Bible? Wasn't that same? So it's nothing new. Any issue, our books, whatever you following, will guide you through those issues. Meaning, when Jesus walked up on the lady that they said was a prostitute, right? And they was ready to stone her and kill her. That's a very deep story. The reason being is because Jesus never said that the lady was right. He never said that. Right? Only thing he said was the person without sin cast the first stone. That's deep now. Look what we're talking about. We're talking about trying to find a person who's qualified to give us advice. Where you going to find that at? Where you going to find a person that's qualified to tell you not to get in trouble? As if the person who's telling you don't have issues themselves.
That's absolutely true. And what I would say is I would push back on you, bro, with this when you say that the hypocrisy piece of it. They made an excellent point when they said the problem is we got.
Clay, I sent it to it's on there now, and I sent it to your. It should go right to your messenger on your Facebook. But you can copy this one right here and get it.
Your example, because sometimes the person giving you the example is really telling you, "Don't do this because I'm struggling and I can't control how I react to it." So when I see somebody with a cord around their arm and them going, "Don't do this," what they're saying to you really is, do as I say, not as I do, because if somebody had told me, I wouldn't be in this position. So sometimes the hypocrisy is that the person that's talking to you is saying, "I'm not perfect, I'm struggling, and I don't want you to be in my predicament, so don't you ever do it." So we gotta learn how to separate the message from the messenger, and the message, and not make the person your example. Take the message for you to lead your own life and stop using the other person to be your example. If you do that in life, you're going to have a hard time.
Yo, so hold on 1 second.
Just to point it out, that might be the wrong word we're using. That might be the wrong word when we say that's a hypocrite, right? I just want to clarify, and then y'all can go. That might be the wrong word that we use it, because without looking at the dictionary, my understanding of a hypocrite is someone who's posing as one thing and then doing another, right? Or saying one thing and doing another. That's a difference to me.
But that's kind of what Meek Mill is doing, though, Sean. That's kind of what Meek Mill is doing. He's a hypocrite.
No. I'm not even. Remember, I never said to my man when we were having that discussion that Meek Mill was or wasn't.
Okay.
My only point to him was that he still has value in his message.
He does.
My man was throwing him away. My man said he shouldn't even speak. That was he said, "Yo, Meek Mill shouldn't even talk on the issue." I said, "But bro, how you gonna say that?" I said, "Yo, he has an influence."
Because exactly, and that's why he's saying he shouldn't speak such because he does have so much.
Right, your influence is confusing to me.
Inspiration is negative. He's negatively inspiring people because he got so many people following him. So all he got to do is put up a song, and next thing you got these kids in Philly killing each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now look. You right? But now look at this. If I said, because we can't make them shut up, right? Now, what if I ask you this? What message you want Meek Mill to give? Him killing people or him giving a positive message? What would you say?
Positive message.
So when he gives the positive message, you cannot say, shut up now. You either want him to continue pushing a negative agenda, or you want him to give a positive message. Right? It can't be, yo, listen, I don't want him to give the message because he's not the right person. Now, could you say, I think a better person could give the message? I can accept that. But to cancel anybody out, to say that Prince is not the right person to be saying stuff because you know why? Prince went to jail, right? This has been always the argument, remember? People used to say, yo, this guy went to school and got a degree.
I'm going to show you an example right now. Actually, in this live, I'm going to start another live, and I'm going to tell everybody that's just watching right now to come outside, shoot people, kill people, use drugs, rape, all of those things. That's the vibe he's giving off. One live, he's saying, yo, police reform, prison reform, this and that. Then his next song, he's telling you, kill a baby, shoot a kid, yo, hold your hood. Like that's the hypocrisy in it, and that's the thing that I don't. That's going back to the beginning of the show when we talk about inspiration. We gotta be very careful of who we listen to, and I don't just talk about rap.
That's true.
That's out there is so-called inspiring us. Because once you finish inspiring me, I'm gonna watch you.
So look,
and now, what you're doing after 5, it still may inspire me, and I might follow that.
All right. So Prince was part of that. What's the organization Prince with the orange?
Life Care.
Huh?
Life Care.
Okay. Now I do know of a person that was in Life Camp was saying, keep the guns off the street, right? Then he turned around and he's putting them back on the street on the low. Now, how am I going to listen to that guy? Please tell me, Sean, tell me how am I going to listen to this guy? He's trying to be in the forefront with the brothers with the flags and the shirts, and he's like, yeah, get the guns off the street. And then he turned around, you see him in the building, and he's, you know what I'm saying, putting it back in the young people's hands. So how could I listen to him? He should shut up. He shouldn't say nothing. If anything.
All right, let me say this. There is a difference between ignorance and devilishment.
Okay.
There is a difference, right? There's the people that, from a lack of knowledge, this is their. But then there's people who do have it, and they intentionally are destructive. It's not by happenstance. They just want to be like that, right? I don't think that Meek Mill's is intentionally destructive. I think that he's ignorant to a degree, in the same way that Malcolm was.
That's your opinion. That's your thought.
Mm-hmm.
It displays. I have the right to say I don't want to listen to him. I have the right to feel that way.
Oh no, definitely no. What I'm saying, listen to the point. Take Meek Mills out of it. What I'm saying is, who isn't a hypocrite though? That's what my point is. Do we cancel people out? Look at our problem. Don't get caught up in what I'm saying. Look at the problem. What I'm saying is this. We just all agreed that if we wait for the person perfect, we ain't gonna get them. So with that being said, the people who don't live the life that we think they should live to give the message, should they shut up? Yes or no?
Yeah, they should shut up. I think they should shut up.
Now that's what I'm saying.
If you think that's the part that I agree with you, I don't agree with that. That's not the part I agree with you. I agree that nobody's perfect. But I also feel that
100%.
the person that's giving a message should not be allowed to give another message, the total opposite of the message he is gave.
Right.
That's what I disagree with. I feel that if a person gives a message that's truthful and is positive and something out there, I feel like at 5 o'clock, once he's not working and he's on the wax, he should give us a message that we also will still listen to. No, I believe that.
Listen, I agree with you. Listen to what I'm saying. He just said it. If a bum is laying on the sidewalk, he's not displaying what I want to be. But if he says, yo, youngin, come here, man. Yo, you should finish school. Should I ignore it?
No.
Because of living like this? And take it from Mike? I should take it from Mike.
Yeah, I think that's a little different.
I think too. I think speaking to Sean's point is really what Prince and Mike is feeling. But I think the problem for Meek Mills is he's ignorant of the lack of responsibility he needs to have
Right.
for the message he's giving, because it comes off conflicting. That's his
right.
That I should have a responsibility to be that. And what he doesn't know how to do is he don't know how to be the lesson and the leader. He just knows how to give you a lesson, but don't know how to lead and do it. So I think
he's sitting there trying to intentionally be Hitler.
Yeah, I think that, and that's what's conflicting for people. They go, yeah, I know what you said, but this is what you're doing, and he doesn't understand the responsibility. And what we really need is, although a perfect person is not going to come, we need people that are going to give us the lessons and lead. And anytime those two don't add up together, then people are going to go, well, I don't know if I want to receive that from you because you're not even doing what you're saying. And that's the tough piece in our society. But I'm agree with Sean on this. I agree with it. I feel the same way y'all feel when people speak. Like, you're going to be hard pressed a lot of times in life to find somebody that is giving you the lessons that they have learned and leading at the same time. Their growth sometimes takes them to stop doing it, but most people are trying to help you still in a place right now. And we waited for somebody to get off the drugs, and we waited for somebody to stop selling drugs before they could give you the message. Oh man, I think I'd rather take them doing it a little early.
Well, I'll say this: I'll take the message from a bum. I'll take the message from a bum before I take it from a person that's doing it. That's when I say doing it, that's very, very like financially successful in the street, and them telling me don't do something and then go do it. I'll go with the guy that's on the street because I know he hit rock bottom and he's like kind of stayed there, and that's where he is. He's 60-something years old and he's a bum on the street, and he's saying, "Yo, don't do it because you're gonna wind up like me." That's what he's saying. Don't be like me. The other one is like, well, you could do this, you shouldn't do that, but look at me, like the example. That's. Think about. Hold on a second.
I can't say that because you have to remember that. You have to remember this though, Mike. Meek Mills is not a scholar. Meek Mills has a talent.
Right.
And he was thrust into his situation because of his talent. That doesn't make him a scholar. That doesn't make him enlightened. It just makes him a rapper who got a deal and now got money. He is stages of growth mentally.
Right.
It's stages of growth mentally. These guys are coming from the ghetto, ignorant.
Right.
And then they're becoming rich.
But they didn't influence, Sean.
No. I know that, right? But he just said something. The brother just said something that's very important. No matter what, you still have to give a person room for growth. A person still has to come into their own, right? Look at Malcolm X's story. He says it all the time, right? And we started off by saying knowledge of self. Knowledge. learning yourself, right? These guys, a lot of them haven't reached that stage to where how you think, how Prince think, they haven't reached that stage. And you know how you know? Because the result shows. A person does what they think and how they think. It shows. Because there's other rappers like J. Cole. Everybody just bashed J. Cole because he said, I don't want to battle. I don't want to do that. J. Cole is a little bit more enlightened mentally. You can tell because it shows through the results. That's what I'm saying. You can't, I don't think, if we just said nobody should be talking, bro, it's going to be, like I'm talking about that's not qualified to talk.
Well, I don't.
Then what really a kid? Where's a kid in the hood gonna get any message from?
Right. No, that's that. Okay. All right. So I'm glad you said that. So now this goes to the point of Meek Mill. He's the one. He's the street guy. He's the hustler, right? That got this deal, like you said, he got the deal, and he's the biggest power and influence because we all know that the streets are very, very influential. J. Cole is not a street guy. So he's not influential like that. He just is very good with lyrics. Like he happened to be really good, but he's like a good kid, like the good kid in the neighborhood.
I'm gonna let Cat on. Cat when it come on.
All right, I was the good kid, and nobody was trying to hear what I was saying. They was like, all right, you out of 10 people, you probably had 2. The other 8 was going to Baisley. They was going to Baisley and they was going to hustle. I remember when they went from 6th grade to 7th grade, and they was like, yo. Over there, you could be down and you can make this money. They were just happy to be part of that movement, man. We didn't, but we didn't know what crack was going to do. We didn't know what it was going to do at the time. But they were the power of influence, and the street people are the power of influence. But when I got a car, when I started having these shiny things, and everybody's like, "Oh, yo, Mike guy, he wanted something." Even just getting out of a nice car and going to the park with a box of Chinese food, eating that, and they were like, "Yo, I want to be like that," and I had a chain on. You know what I'm saying? That's the power of influence. But I think that we getting caught up in how we think now. Everybody got granny beard. You're not thinking about the youth. You got to think. You got to get into their mind and how confused. It's very, very confusing. I just happen to be a little bit more like, well, if somebody, like you said, if somebody older told me something, I listened. But most people didn't. They didn't listen to that. They was not listening to it, and y'all know that. Y'all know, bruh.
Now here's what I'm comparing, though.
Okay.
Here's what I'm comparing.
Okay.
You know, okay, I'm gonna say this. You know that there's people in the rap game, Meek Mill's age, that their message is 10 times worse than his.
Yep.
Right? You see what's coming out of Chicago? You
Drill.
see what's coming out of these places. Okay, now. A kid, what I'm looking at is this. Remember, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%.
My only thing is, where is this 15-year-old kid? He's listening to music. And I'm trying to figure out where is he going to get a positive message from in all of this. Because see, when we was young, we got it, though. We had our KRS-One. That's done. Today, what I'm saying is, at least if he listens to Meek Mill, he can get something from it.
He can.
Now, that's something I'm going to give him credit for.
Absolutely.
Versus the guy that he's listening to from Chicago that's saying, kill him up, shoot him up, kill your ops.
I see what you're saying.
Bro, we got to live in reality, bro. We can't. See, the difference between with me too is I don't make celebrities gods.
That's a big difference. You in the minority. You in the 1%. Don't forget that.
Let me say this. Today. But you know, as a kid, yeah, you could be influenced by that. Because when I was a kid, listen, Michael Jackson was a god.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell me no different. And to many people, he was, right? But what I'm saying is, these kids, we had our KRS ones, we had our poor righteous teachers, we had our, we had mad groups. Actually,
the gods.
We had mad groups.
People that
talked about positivity.
Right.
In our time.
Knowledge yourself.
They don't have that now. So when I'm looking at and I'm being in reality, I'm not saying what I wish.
Yeah.
I'm saying in reality, where can these kids? So being that the landscape of hip hop is so negative, when I do see somebody, I don't care how negative they are. If Snoop, if Chief Keef, if Meek Mills, I don't care who it is. If they come and they say, yo, y'all kids should not be doing drugs and you should go to school, I'm going to give them props for that. You know why? Because there's people that's coming. They ain't even saying that. They are actually saying, do this and do that. They're not pushing no positive message. So when I look at the landscape, I have to say, damn, you know what? I don't like the fact that he's like you saying, a hypocrite, right? Contradictive. I don't like it. But I have to give him credit for saying, go to school, do this, do that. It's almost like, look, if you ever been a mentor to a kid, I worked in juvenile probation. Why I was so successful is because of what I'm telling you right now. A kid can come in and be the baddest kid, bro. Where they was failing was they was too focused on what he was doing bad. And they never strengthened the little ounce that he was doing good. Right? So he never saw value in doing good. Because too many people was focused on the negative. So when a kid didn't go to school, when a kid did this or did that, when he came to my office, I ain't talk about it. You know what I'm talking about? When he come in, I start talking about the playoffs. Yo, who you like Ant-Man? You like blah, 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 blah? And we start talking. Now he's getting to know me. And then you know what I say? I say, you know what? When I was going to school, I ain't like it either. I ain't even going front. And then I start slowly explaining to him, although I didn't like it, why you need it. And guess what? It worked all the time.
But Sean, that's a little different, man, because you're positive. You were being positive and finding a better way to skin a cat. That's what you was doing. But you wasn't Meek Mill saying, you wasn't there and then telling him that and then going to hit the streets.
No.
Imagine if you would have done that. What he would have said. What that kid would have said if he would have saw you later on in the street or saw in the news that you did some wild stuff. What you think that would have done to him?
It would have hurt him. It would have. I don't know if it would have took the message away.
It wouldn't have taken the message away, but it was saying, well,
he would have felt disappointed probably. I don't. It's hard to say because it all depends on how you giving up what you giving up. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to know that, like he said, like the brother said, don't follow the man, right? Follow the wisdom in what they're saying.
But what if you're not old enough to get that with, like, that's what I keep saying. We talking from.
No. I'll explain that. See, that's
go ahead.
This is why young people need that guidance.
Yeah.
Because although he may not understand, you as an adult do. So it's your job. I always tell people, what makes a great teacher? What makes a great educator? What makes a great educator is this. If I got a class of 20 students,
yeah,
my expertise is measured on how many kids I can reach in that 20-room class. So if you as a teacher, if you only get to 10 of your students, and me as a teacher, I get to 15, I'm a better teacher. Because what that's meaning is that however I'm relaying my message to them, they're getting it.
Right.
That is how you have to talk to young kids, right? It's not what you say, it's how you saying it to them. A lot of adults don't know how to speak to that population. I saw it.
Yeah.
I said, damn, they don't. The reason why they was attracted to me, because I spoke their language and knew how to do it. They didn't know how to do it. It was simple to me. But for some adults, and I'm talking about blacks and whites, I'm working in probation. There's black probation officers, juvenile probation officers. There's social workers there. There's clinical advisors there, right? And they don't really, a lot of them didn't really know how to communicate with a 15-year-old that has a certain type of mentality.
You know what? Let me say something. This is a different way of looking at it than I'm looking at it. When you're going on a ride, you're on a mission to get somewhere, right? People you meet along that road you're traveling is not meant to take the whole trip with you, right?
Right.
But it was real meaningful at the beginning of your trip, right? So the way I look at the guy Meek Mills is this: he bringing life and attention to prison reform and other wrongdoings, and you got a couple of white billionaires that's helping them and putting the money behind the legal factor to bring attention to this, right? Now, like me, when you away in that cell, you feel by yourself, you can't get your closest friends to write you back, and you need support at that time, right? Mills is a good thing. He bringing platform and attention to that help that you need. Now, when we get a little further up the road and get the snowball rolling on its own, we can kick him out because we tell him we don't like your behavior. But we done helped us bring so much attention to what's needed at the time. It's like, you gotta let him do what he do, because otherwise you that one single person or a couple of other jailhouse lawyers around the jail that's nobody's in anyway because you're all locked away. But you got somebody on the outside bringing attention to something that you need. So use him for the energy that you can use him for to kick him out the group.
Yeah, you're right. And not just that. I think knowledge itself is a process. He's going through his own process.
Yeah, because you know what you see so much with actors, they act a certain way at 20, where at 45 they telling you all their pitfalls are up and down, which they don't even believe in no more. Let him do what he do, but he just got a bigger platform than we do when we sit in a cell by ourselves. So let him talk. Let them bring attention. Then when attention is there, then we tell them what really needs to be told. That's what he's saying in the rap record.
And Mike, I'll piggyback off of what they're saying as well. You said that you used to have a message and nobody wanted to listen to you. The reality of it is, though, when you got your message from somebody, Meek Mills may have never even had a message from anybody. And you're gonna learn this, and I've learned this in life. That's why when I hear somebody talk sometimes and they go, well, you know, my dad was never there. My father wasn't a good dad. And then it was too. If you want to know how to be a good dad, you got a good example. He shows you the blueprint. But if you want to be a good dad, you had a bad one, just don't do what he did. So there is two frames that you can learn from. And just because somebody is not in a place, like Chad is saying, just in a place where they can do it yet, they still got lessons, and we look at it from this perspective, like he was saying, all the other good that comes from it. What if he don't say anything? Then nobody's saying nothing.
Right?
Is that really what we want?
But
say anything.
Yeah, but I don't see. Okay, let me clarify. Right. So when I tell Meek Mill to shut up, I do think that he's confusing people. I do think that, right? But I think there's a whole bunch of other people that should be speaking up and saying things. Meek Mill could say something.
And those people are not speaking, but also too, Mike, what you got to realize those two, you never was in that precious situation anyway, knowing how bad you need really some help in order to get out of here. Need somebody just to look your way, and they won't look your way.
So hold on 1 second. So
I'm gonna ask you this question, bro. I'm gonna ask you this question because with Shine and Kat, I want to ask you this question. People say he's a hypocrite, right? Where are we getting that information from? Where are we getting the information from that the people that hear Meek Mills are not listening and going, he's a hypocrite? The people on the outside judging his actions, yes, I get it. We're judging his actions not lining up with what his words are. But where are we getting the information that these young kids hear him talking and they're not doing the right thing? That's speculation that he's confusing them. We're assuming.
Yeah. No, wait, I'm not assuming. I'm going by the guys that used to be on the boulevard and they used to see somebody trying to say something and do it, and they'd be like, yo, listen to that nigga. I think he out here doing the same thing. That example I gave you of the life camp, it was true. It really happened. And people were looking at him, the youth was looking at him like, yo, wasn't he just on something walking?
But listen. Now look at this. You see what you're saying? I'm gonna ask this. Is Meek Mill is what he's saying confusing, or if the person listening confused?
That's what I'm saying. The person listening is confused.
I'll tell you why. Anybody that gives a message, Meek Mills or not, anyone that gives a message that can help me, whether they living like that or not, I'm not gonna say, yo, I'm not listening to him because he's confusing. I'm just gonna take the good part out, right? Because I'm gonna tell you this. Most of our parents didn't raise us the way we supposed to be raised. That is exemplified if you ever read the book by George Jackson, I think it's Prison Letters, where he's writing his mother and he's having a dialogue with his mother about raising his little brother Jonathan and what Jonathan would face as a black man in America. He was having these discussions with his mother, like, I need you to talk to him about this, prepare him like this. And I'm saying that to say that anyone that, these examples that we're talking about, though, everything that we're talking about is rooted in our religious books. There's no problem that can arise on this planet that those books, whether it be the Quran, the Torah, that those books don't address. There's not one situation that can occur that those books don't address. So in that way, you have to say, when you look at the lessons, right? When you look how Prophet Muhammad, Jesus, bro, they took lessons from everybody. That's being wise. The person that looks at the person, you never look at the person. The person that looks at the person and say, I don't like what they're saying because of who they are versus what they're saying, to me, that's the wrong way to receive any message. Because if you go about life like that, you're going to do yourself a disservice. You're going to miss out on so much, right? Because now look at this. Again, we talking about the better of two evils. Is it realistic for me to go to a kid and say, like my son, I got a kid, he listens to rap. Should I go to my son and say, I don't think you should be listening to Meek Mills because he's a contradiction. But he's but yet he's listening to people worse than Meek Mills.
But he got you. That's the difference.
No. But I'm saying, not just me. I'm not saying me personally, but I'm just saying for people in those situations. I'm speaking in general. For the kids that is listening, right? It's hard for an adult to come and say, yo, listen, don't listen to this, right? And I'm gonna tell you, listen to this. I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest quote unquote contradictions since we speaking on that. Tupac Shakur. And everyone acknowledges it. Everyone says, yo, Tupac was multifaceted. He was very talented. he was only 20-something years old. He was very talented. Everybody agreed with that. Very smart. And he was conscious. But there were times where he did other things that didn't necessarily, and said other things that didn't necessarily go with his overall message. Do we ignore because he didn't live to the letter of what he spoke? Do we ignore the great things that he said? And Brenda's Got a Baby and all these other great songs, Dear Mama. Do we ignore that because he caught a gun case? Because he got caught fighting in Las Vegas? Because, he's smoking weed? And should we throw those things away? That's what I'm saying. I don't, and then I'm humble. I'm humble in the way I don't go into no situation with arrogance. I go into a situation. I try to go into situations, and I'm not saying that because that come on. What I do is I look at the books and the principles that guide me. And the question that everybody laughs at, what would Jesus do? I really do that. But I'm Muslim, so I would say, what would Master Farad Muhammad, how would he handle this situation? How does he look at this situation? And that's how I try to approach it. Not to be judgmental, but to come into it humble and say, you know what? This dude may not be perfect. He may not be the perfect example, but I understand what he's saying. And it can help me and help others. Now, as life goes on, I hope that he can make a transformation, right? And that's a little bit of what Prince was talking about, right? That we spoke about earlier. Prince was saying, I think a dude ain't ready when he come home. But the brother said, no, he could be a great example. And he explained why, right? So it's not like, I'm not a big fan of Meek Mill. I'm just looking at straight saying, where do these kids get messages from? Where are they getting? I'm talking about from their idols. They love rap. They love sports. There's very few sports athletes that come out and speak positively. I mean, not positively. Let me change that. There's very few sports figures that come out and speak on social issues. LeBron James get killed for that. Anytime he says something outside of basketball, he get killed for it. Michael Jordan hasn't spoken on social issues forever. You see what I'm saying? So now, do we rather him not say nothing? Because he gets flack for that. And I say, damn, Michael Jordan is one of the biggest sports figures to ever live. Why doesn't he come out and speak on social issues? He doesn't. You see what I'm saying? But now you got a Meek Mills. Yeah, he's a contradictor, but at least he's saying something.
I'm just trying to figure out. How do you differentiate the two if this guy's saying one thing and doing something different? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out who's the kids that are saying, that are smart enough to say, nah, let me just take the good part out because this guy's my idol. This guy's my idol. How do I take the good part of what he said versus what he did and what he's doing or what he's saying? How do you do that? That's all I want to know.
Mike, I say this right here is that you don't. Right? It's like, nature is made off of balance. You got to have balance, the positive with the negative, right? Yeah. And really, to tell the truth, if you're in the midst of all this and needing that help, that the reform that he's talking about, that's all you're going to hear. Because, I know that a lot of these rich people, like them billionaires he's messing with, every move they make it's like they like politicians, right? They only getting involved with this thing because it's going to help them in some way. And they must see the numbers of the people that Meek Mill's touch. That's why they backing them up, right? So what you do is, it ain't about the little 15-year-old kids that he talked negative to. It's about these guys attaching their money and influence behind what Meek Mills is saying at the moment to get the ball rolling. Now the kids that he talk negative to, it might eventually lead them into being into something, but they get something involved now that's going to help everybody out later. And when somebody who got a platform is willing to give you a helping hand, you got to use that energy. But it's always going to be negative, Father. If you keep waiting for the perfect guy, things are never going to get done.
Yeah.
Because none of the other stuff you want to even be involved with it at all.
Yeah. Look what Cameron has a good show now, right? Him and Mace. Cameron went on 60 Minutes and said if a serial killer was living next door to him, he would not call police. You see what I'm saying? So when you say confusing, the whole game is confusing.
It is.
The whole game is confusing. So that's what I'm saying. When I see a person trying, although they're not perfect, I give them what we call an E for effort. Because I know there's people out there that's working hard to go against that message. If Meek Mill come up there and say, you know what, prison reform, the judge did me like this, and I think we need to change this, blah, 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 blah. There's people working hard to debunk that message.
Yeah.
I would say too, when you talk about the situation, bro, when you say it's confusing, the Bible teaches us that everybody is born with a level of inherent morality. So I don't want to dismiss the fact that we acting like a young person is so confused, right? They don't know which one is really wrong. I don't want to act like they don't know selling drugs and shooting somebody is something that's right. When somebody like Meek Mills comes out with something that's contradictory to something he may have been saying in a young part of his life, at least he's giving them an option now. Although he may be still struggling, he's going, well, listen, here's a powerful message, and you take this one. Before I was just promoting this, and there are some kids, regardless, and we all know people that just regardless of what they're doing in their life, their voice matters. So most kids are not sitting there going, well, he's not doing it. They're going, well, he told me to do this. So sometimes when we're sitting there, even like the guys you said, brother, they listen to you. They knew what you were saying was right, and they knew the drug dealer was wrong. So I don't want to minimize that with people's decision making too, to go, well, it's Meek Mill's fault. No, it's not his fault. You had a choice and you made a decision. But there are lessons, man, that you find even in bad examples. There are definitely. I'm like Brother Shine, Brother Cat. Like I take, the message and I throw the bathwater out, not the baby. So what I learned to do is I take this from this person, from that person, and I give you an example, right? This is how I was sitting there thinking about me and you. Oh, so we're married. We doing the best we can as husbands. But if you look back at the age of 20, where we were in our life, you would say we are disqualified from talking to a young man in his 20s now. Because we would be a hypocrite because at 20, I wasn't doing that. Right. And now I'm telling him something based on that I've learned later in life. He would go, no, I don't want to listen to you. Because when you was 20, I used to see you with 2 and 3 girls. You see how we eliminated now? Because you're going to say we're a hypocrite. You didn't do this, so why are you telling me?
No, I don't see how. I don't see how, because that's like Sean. Sean was gone. Sean was locked up, but he's a better example. He's like, I did used to do this, but I don't do it no more. So don't do it. So he's not eliminated.
But now you still come across with going, you're not giving me any grace and you judging me. So we may take 5 or 10 years to get to the place, but we already trying to give him advice of not going there. What about the kid going, well, I'll wait till I'm 30 to be like you?
Well, we're planting seeds, right? We're planting seeds. That's all we're doing. And I'll give y'all some grace on Meek Mill, because what he's going to do is he's going to speak to a percentage of people, but it's just not going to be the majority. It's going to be a smaller percentage, because you still got those people that are confused. So maybe I'll give him some grace and say, yo, you can say something, but it's just confusing to me. That you see, since we started this last hour, I've been saying the confusion. That's been my word, because it's confusing to watch somebody that you idolize say something and then do something different. It's like parents say, do as I say, not as I do. Now they starting not to do that anymore, and they starting to explain more to their kids. Like me, I explain to my kids.
But let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
I see your concern, and you're right. But here's what I think the message that we trying to give to you is
no Rolls Royce.
Is outside of people who has to be like that. And what I mean by that is a monk, someone that lived in a monastery, a Buddhist monk, a priest, a minister, a pastor, right? They are really held to a certain standard. But now, we're not talking about our kids listening to them or getting guidance from them. We're talking about the entertainment world. And in entertainment, we're talking about sports, TV, movies.
The cool people.
The cool people. Now, out of the cool people, who isn't contradicted?
Nah, I can't agree with that, Sean. There's a lot of people that's not.
No. I didn't make a statement.
Okay. All right.
I said, out of all the cool people, who isn't contradicted? Right. Who can we look at? Who can we look at and say the message that they're giving out is exactly the way that they're living?
Let me say something to go with that also too. I think one of the problems is like where Mike's getting his decision from is that he's looking at Meek Mills like on two different frequencies. He's looking at him doing a political thing, and then he's looking at him where the record company's making him do what he got to do in order to release the next single so he can make money. And he's trying to identify with both. You can't. If you're part of hip hop, then you got to identify with that Meek Mills. If you're really trying to make a change, you're going to identify with the other part of Meek Mills.
Right.
But again, y'all speaking from being older. You can't do that. You just can't do that. You got to look at kids. Their minds aren't like that. They're not like that. They're not going to differentiate it like that.
But the older people that have matured to a certain stage are going to understand one Meek Mills. The younger people are going to understand the other Meek Mills, and he's appealing to both sides. But you can't look at him and try to identify with both Meek Mills because
but why?
In both cases he's doing what needs to be done to straighten up that part of his life. When he was in jail and needed to get out, but they tried to give him more time, the billionaires brought light to his situation and got him out of jail. But in order to make money, you got to do what the record companies want to do. But you can't look at them both because he's trying to get a message across in both things. You can't identify him with either one of them.
Right, and I believe this. I believe that it's crazy. I believe that to a degree, not 100%. But I believe to a degree that Meek Mill is actually doing the right thing. I'm going to tell you why. You know the meaning behind putting the pill in the applesauce. That's exactly what he's doing. Listen, I grew up listening to NWA, so I know what negative music sound like. I know what.
But you knew not to. It wasn't an influence for you. You knew better because you had parents, because you had people that cared.
No. They actually was an influence. They was an influence. They was an influence. They come from LA. They was an influence on the whole New York.
No, right.
What I mean by that is they was an influence. They wasn't influenced.
But you knew better though, right?
No, I mean, not really. Not like you saying, right? We kids.
Yeah, but did you do what they did, or did you really just like the music?
No, I did what they did.
All right. Well, then did you?
What I'm saying to you is this. And you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
When you was that age, there was music that you listened to, and you did what they did.
No.
You know what, though?
Nope.
No, hold on.
All right, go ahead.
I've met plenty correction officers and plenty of cops that said, yo, I did this and did that, man. Had I got caught, I'd have been right in your position. But you know, I never got busted. I never got caught, but I did things in my life. Yeah. I've heard plenty of people say that.
Yeah.
That are officers now.
I'm guilty of that. So go ahead.
So that's what I'm saying, right? There were things when you was young that, you know, Shaq speak about that. And Shaq had a military stepfather that he praises to the day. And he said, listen, I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to run with my friends. I wanted to go out and do stuff. And it's like, come here, you big dummy. You the biggest man. You know, he used to keep them straight. But there were things, whether it be movies or because they talk about that. Jay-Z got a line where he say,
Hov did that.
Scarface the movie did more than Scarface the rapper.
Right.
It did more destruction than Scarface the rapper. So this is what I'm saying, right? These things were very influential. Scarface the movie, right? A menace to society. NWA. There was a time to go back, blaxploitation. These are things that were very influential in the black community. When I look at all that negativity, I say to myself, damn, man, you know, for the person that does come out and say, you know what, he might be negative, but he is kind of saying too, yo, go to school, don't be like me. Yes, there's a contradiction, but I have to give him credit for that part, not for the other part. For that part is what I'm saying.
I got you.
Where you're not getting it from nowhere else. Now, for a 15-year-old, you have to remember that it may be confusing if that's the only thing raising him, is the music. Because there are other components to being raised. Does he have parents? Because look, you got children, and you left your children to social media. You have to be the one that says, listen, this is not reality. This is how real life works.
But Sean, that's the point I said, that you had like your son. Your son has you. What about the people that don't? That's what I'm referring to. The people that are just sitting out here that don't have nobody but the street. What about them?
Well, that's where people like you, Prince, me, the brothers that's on, that's where we coming at. Because if you look at some of these stories, right? That's what LeBron had. LeBron didn't. His moms was young. His pops wasn't there. These people that we looking at, they didn't come from nice places. This dude D Rose is from the hood. Dwayne Wade they guys from Chicago, some of the worst places, shooting drugs all over the place, right? And guess what? I read a book one time, 3 doctors from out of Jersey. They all grew up in the ghetto. Their story is phenomenal. They grew up to be doctors. Different doctors. One is a brain surgeon, but they all found somebody, right? And I say, I always say, that's God working. But God put somebody in each of their lives, bro. Sometimes as a teacher at school. I don't know if you remember Denzel Washington was on Oprah, and she bought one of his childhood mentors. He speak about that all the time. He's like, yo, my friends is in jail doing life. He says this, right? Because, people don't know Denzel passed. But there's times where he like, yo, listen, my friends are doing life in jail. He said, I was lucky. And Oprah knew his story. She bought one of his mentors, and he was sitting in the audience. And they was talking about it. And he said, what? She said, he did. And he came down and they hugged and all that. He was like, wow, boom, boom. He was messed up. LeBron had a mentor. Like, this is where we come in at to answer your question. Those kids that's 14 and 15 that may not have parents. or their parents may be on drugs. Because there's many children right now that's growing up without parents. Though all these people that's getting killed in gun violence, guess what? They got kids. You know how many kids is growing up with no father? Because of the violence that's going in. And then if the mother ain't right, then he has no parents. So this is where I'm somewhere, and there's a young brother, and he need information, and he need guidance, and I'm going to give it to him.
So we got to have a louder voice.
We have to.
Absolutely, because I think too, in fairness to Meek Mills, you know, I don't think Meek Mills ever got on somewhere and said, I'm a role model. See, that's the difference. To me, it's hypocritical when you say I'm a role model. Because now you're saying, do what I'm doing. This is a guy just trying to go, hey, listen. And even to Cap's point, I don't need, sometimes Cap wants to shed some light from the two perspectives. Is there a contradiction? So if you want to be a rapper, and this is the way you want to go, then you follow that Meek Mills. If rap ain't your thing, then you follow that one. I'm not sure if it's a contradiction, depending on what you really want to do with your life.
Yeah, but the kids going to follow both. They're not going to differentiate the two. They're not going to do that.
And I say this right here also, too. I mean, just look at the nature, right? You start with the roots of a plant, seeds, then the roots, then it grows the tree. We try to take kids as the roots and try to make them believe they're the leaves right now. Some stuff you're never going to see until you grow through the process. So we can talk as loud as we want, as stern as we want. They're never going to be leaves until they're leaves. So the kids are going to pay attention to what they're paying attention to right now. But it took us so many years to come to the belief that we are. Because the four guys that's on this thing right now that I can see, you go back to 1990 and none of us might not even been friends, even willing to talk to each other because our lives going in different directions at that time. But after getting the knowledge that we got and get to today, we can sit on here for an hour and talk. Yeah. And talk forever because of what we grew into.
Right.
Because I'm going to tell you something, Mike. I'm going to tell you something, right? I bet you. If Meek Mills was on this live and he got to hear our comments about him, I think probably, Mike, you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I agree with that.
You might be surprised at his response to everything we're saying. You know what I'm saying? You because I know how tough it is from an uneducated person to try to give a message. He's uneducated, right? Like most of our where we come from, right? Now, me saying that he's uneducated, I'm not saying that he's stupid or dumb. He's far from that.
Right.
But like the brother said, he's not charged as being a role model. He's not charged with being a prophet. He's not charged with none of that. He's Meek Mills from Philly that knows how to rap. That's it.
That's it.
That is it.
And
have a degree in nothing.
And who better to get a message to the youth that are out here bugging out just in the street? He's better to give the message than me because they're gonna look at me and be like, "Yo, he ain't never been to jail. He don't know the struggle." That's the first thing they're gonna say. He don't know. How he know? Even though I know a lot of shit, but they're gonna assume I don't. But he's better to get a message. But I'm just saying, and I'm being extra.
What the killer's influenced by, to be honest with you,
Because
it depends on. Today, I'm not gonna lie, right? I'm not gonna say today, just period, right? It depends on the person. I don't want to just say that kids aren't gonna listen,
right?
And I don't want to paint the picture because I think we can do that sometime. I don't want to paint the picture because I think they do that a lot actually in media. We focus so much on the negativity that forget to highlight all the great things that our young folks are doing.
Yep.
There are some 15 and 16-year-olds that are very perceptive
very smart, and is gonna and know how to. Look, there's some 15 and 16 years old that they college bound already.
Yeah.
Like they're like ahead, like, and some of them come from parent households, but some of them it's God given. Some kids had it so rough. It's just that their mind, they were so perceptive, and for some reason they was able to pick up things that other kids aren't at their age. And understand things, because look how many stories we know of some 15, 16-year-old kids that's raising their little brother or sister because their parents was on drugs and they was never home, right? You have some of these young kids that they have good discernment, they smart, and it was really God-given. It's not something that can really be taught. It's just their instincts.
That's their gift. That's their gift,
right? But there are some young kids that can hear something and say, you know what? Like he was saying, the kids ain't that dumb. They know that certain things are wrong. It's what's stronger for them, though. What stronger influence is there for them, right?
What are they connected to at the time?
What are they connected to at the time? And guess what? That only can be determined by the man above, because look, a kid doesn't choose his parents. A kid doesn't say, "Hey, I want to live in 1706 South Jamaica Avenue." He don't say that. He don't say, "Listen, I just happen to be living in Preem. I just happen to be living in his building."
Yeah.
He doesn't determine that. He doesn't determine, Memphis Bleak doesn't determine that him and Jay-Z just happen to live in it. They don't determine that, right? Your circumstances are your circumstances. And everyone's road to redemption is different. Meek Mill doesn't, the last page is not in Meek Mill book, because look, 5 to 10 years from now, you may turn around and look at Meek Mill and say, you know what? I ain't gonna front, he's doing great things.
100%.
Right? 10 years ago, you didn't like him. But then within 5 years, he met certain people, got next to certain people, grew in mentally. Now he's opening up a school. Now he's doing this or doing that. Now you're saying, damn, that's what I'm talking about, Meek, because that other Meek I didn't like. But what we failed to give him was the time that he needed to reach that point.
Yeah.
Maturity, yeah.
Well, I will say that, like I said again, we are just talking and using him as an example. I have not heard.
Because there's many others.
Yeah,
right?
I have not heard him specifically made more negative music after his guys been speaking on change and prison reform and stuff like that. I will say that. I'm just saying, as an example, sometimes it's hard to differentiate the confusion of somebody saying one thing and then doing something different. That's really
It's true. I get it. But look, what podcaster? You got people or black people from the ghetto. You and I age.
Yeah.
And everybody age. How many podcasters is giving a positive message?
They not. Dude told me.
There's a lot of them that we listen to, right? How many of them? And most of them.
And they grown.
They grown.
Grown kids.
How many of them? Listen, this is why people kind of love this platform. Because guess what? You can't get it in 99% of the place.
Nope.
I'm not saying it's not there. I'm not saying there's not people that's trying to create positive.
But how many? What's a small percentage?
But I'm talking about the people from the hood, ghetto, black like me and you. As soon as they get a spotlight, they're talking about music, sports, street.
Shit. Right. And like I was saying, our voices are always the smallest voices because the influence is not that. Who's that?
1 second. Go ahead. 1 second.
What up, Bumble? The influence it's hard for the positive message to be pushed without them seeing something. That's why I'm saying bruh. Shiny versus shiny, right? The negative shiny gotta be pulled in with the positive shiny. It has to, because it has to be a way to show this. And I was talking about 2 years ago, I'm saying, how come the doctor or the lawyer or the pilot that's from our neighborhood can't come back to the street without getting robbed in his car? You know what I'm saying? Why can't he do that? Why don't we have somebody to compare and say, oh, just do it for 5 years and this is where you're gonna be. Not 5 days or 5 months and you don't have to risk your whole life. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different. So I gotta run, man. I gotta run, y'all. We gotta continue tomorrow, man. We gonna, early in the morning. I gotta get to work. But now I appreciate you, Sean, for getting on. Brief on Grief, Cat. We're gonna continue tomorrow morning, man. We're gonna keep going. But yo, our voices gotta get stronger, man. We just gotta stay on it. We gotta keep. I say put my foot. I'm gonna keep my foot on the gas of positivity. I don't care what people say, and people don't think I'm the cool kid. I am the coolest kid. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what nobody said. We're gonna cheerlead for ourselves, and we're gonna make it happen, man. That's what's up, man. So it's good.
Great conversation. I think a lot of people got a lot about what was said today. I think it got the wheels turning in some people's head, because although, we was having this discussion and going back and forth about, I think that it opened up something in a lot of people who listened today, and they took something from it. And that's probably one of the most important things about this discussion.
I say,
let me say something else too real quick before we go. Is this right here? A lot of us are wishing for something in life. We want a certain type of success, right? But one thing we got to realize is this: you're going to learn as you go along, right? And the thing that's going on with Puff Daddy, everybody's, they talking about the girls, they talking about this, they talking about his son. But what they got to realize this right here is, what that girl Cassidy did was she just revealed what it really takes to be successful in that business, because Puffy was big time successful. They trying to play now like, oh, he did something wrong. Puffy did everything it took to be successful in that business. And the curtain just got pulled back on it, and they showing America what he was doing. But he was a big time success in the business. Even LeBron shouting him out, ain't no party like a Diddy party. All the people at the top knew what was going on. Right? So you got to realize, one, be careful what you wish for. And then the second thing you got to realize is that you can't sit here and really hold in stone like this is what needs to be being done, because you really don't know what it really takes to be successful, because you trying all these so-called positive things to be successful, but Buckley showed you that it takes a mountain full of negative things to be successful in a negative world. Yep. So you got to really be careful what you're wishing for, because you're wishing to be in a world that you really don't want to be a part of.
Right.
You better take a different route.
Right. As people say they want things, but I always say that's what you think you want. You never really know what you want until you get it. Yeah. And that's a good word, Cat.
Bucky did this big ass apology, but it's only after he got caught. Because what are you apologizing for? Talking about you went and got help for your problems, when just last week before the video came out, you were somehow it was a witch hunt and all this different stuff. And everybody knew this. That's why they went quiet and wasn't backing them up, because that's what it takes to be successful in that work.
Word.
Right there.
All right, well, on that note, man, I'll see y'all later, man. Peace and love.
Definitely.
Persistence always overcomes resistance, man. Don't forget that.
That's right. That's right.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Okay, yeah.